howling wind and a mistake. The mountain is watching. That's not fiction. That's the last entry written by Igor Dyatlov, 23 years old. Brilliant. Confident just hours before he and 8 friends tore open their tent in the middle of a minus 30 degrees Celsius Siberian blizzard and ran barefoot into the snow. To die. For 65 years, the world called it a mystery. But the truth was hiding in plain sight in his own words. Frozen intime, barren by senses. Now, declassified pages, forensic analysis, and a single undeveloped film roll finally reveal. They didn't just flee. They were terrified. It was January 31st, 1959. 9 elite hikers, 7 men. 2 women camped on the slope of Kholat Syakhl, the Mansi mountain of the dead, in Russia's Ural range. They'd skied 150 miles through deep snow, laughing in photos, roasting venison, writing cheerful notes home. Igor's diary recovered half-burned near their abandoned tent reads like a normal expedition log. Until the last page. January 31st, wind howling. Yuri says the stars look wrong. Zina saw orange lights above the ridge, like fire, but no smoke. We laughed, but I keep waking up. Feels like something is pressing on my chest. Slept with knife under pillow. Then a scribble in pencil. Shaky. 2304. Noise from the slope, not wind. Like metal tearing, everyone awake. Going outside to check. That was the last entry. Hours later, in a panic no one can fully explain. They slashed their tent from the inside, not the safe. Zipped entrance, but the windward side, exposed to the full fury of the storm, and fled into darkness, barefoot, in underwear. Some weary though wake, no? Because their footprints, revealed when the snow melted, show them stumbling down the slope, some with feet wrapped in torn fabric, others leaving trails of frostbitten skin. 2 were found under a cedar tree, shirtless, trying to light a fire with numb, bleeding hands. 3 more, including Igor, collapsed, face down in the snow, crawling back toward camp, as if they'd changed their minds too late. But the real horror waited in a ravine. When searchers dug for bodies from meters of snow to months later, they recoiled in shock. Lyudmila Benina, Taislin Tornorn, but a chest? Crushed with the force of a car crash, ribs shattered inward, yet no bruising on the skin. Nicole Thibault Brignot, skull fractured like he'd fallen 50 feet again, no external wound. Soviet doctors called it a compelling natural force. They classified the files. And for decades, the world spun theories: avalanche, military test, Yeti, UFOs. But Igor's diary and the final photo on his Leica camera tells a different story. The last image shows their camp under a pale sun. But in the upper corner, a faint orange glow hovers over the ridge. For years, skeptics dismissed it as lens flare. Then, in 2020, Swiss scientists at EPFL ran simulations. They proved that the group's tent had been pitched on a hidden, snow-slabber, deadly layer of weak crystals buried under powder. That night, under the weight of wind and their own movement, it fractured silently. Not a full avalanche, but a slab wave, a sudden, localized pressure pulse that hit like a bomb blast, crushing lungs and ribs without breaking and triggering instant primal terror. You're asleep. A sound like tearing metal rips through the night. The ground jolts. Your chest implodes with invisible force. You can't breathe. You think the mountain is collapsing on you. So you do the only thing your brain allows. Run, even if it means bursting through the tent roof in your socks. even if it means dying of cold instead of being crushed. That's what Igor's diary really said. Not aliens, not spies. Just human beings facing a silent, invisible killer one so rare, scientists didn't even have a name for it until 2019, and the orange lights. Likely electrical discharges, cryoseisms, caused by the same snow slab fracturing under stress. The Mansi people had warned hikers for centuries. Don't sleep on Dead Mountain when the wind sings. The Soviet state buried the truth to hide its failure to protect its youth, but Igor's final words survived. Going outside to check, they never came back. Today, the Dyatlov Pass is a pilgrimage site. Hikers leave flowers, cameras, notes that say, "We hear you," because the real horror isn't the mystery. It's how ordinary courage met an extraordinary force of nature and lost. But thanks to Igor's trembling pencil, we finally know they weren't reckless. They weren't foolish. They were brave until the end, and the mountain, it's still watching.